Alright, guys, now that we've covered one center, now it's time to move on to the next center. The next center we're going to cover is called incenter. So day number one we called circumcenter. Today we're covering incenter. Incenter is where the three angle bisectors intersect. So what I want you guys to do first is pause the video and copy down this. Okay. Angle bisector, so here we have an angle right out here, right? This line that cuts the angle directly in half is called an angle bisector. So an angle bisector is a line that cuts an angle directly in half. So if this entire angle was 50, each one of these would be 25 right here. Okay? So where the three angle bisectors intersect, because a triangle has three main angles, is called the incenter. So pause the video, copy that thing down. So as you guys can see here, this point right there is the incenter. Here's an angle bisector, there's an angle bisector, and there's an angle bisector. Where the three angle bisectors intersect is called the incenter. Now, opposite from circumcenter. Circumcenter from this point out were equal. Incenter is opposite, and this is where people get really confused. Incenter from the incenter to the side of the triangle are all equal. So PE is the same as PD is the same as PF. So an incenter from the incenter to the side of the triangle are all equal. Alright, so incenter, now you guys could probably imagine the kind of problems we're going to be dealing with. We're going to be playing a lot with angles, maybe with these three lines right here, PD, PE, and PF, but mainly angles. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do one of these right now. So, if I write it down, you write it down. So, alright, first one. If I have a triangle that looks like, let me see here, where are we at? Okay, if it looks like this, there's an angle bisector, there's an angle bisector, and there's an angle. So right there's the incenter. Now there's these little lines that are going to come off. Remember, in incenter, these are the lines that are equal. So this is A, S, B, T, C, U, and V. Alright, the information they give to us. They say that TV equals 4, BV equals 15, the measure of angle TCU equals 32, and the measure of SBV equals 54. So that's the information they give to us. What they want us to find is UV, angle SBT, and angle SAV. And these are measures. Alright, so this is the information they want. And then I'm going to scroll out so you guys can see it better. Okay, so this is an example of what one's going to look like on your homework. And the way you know that it's an incenter is inside the problem it'll actually say incenter. So, this is the incenter right there. Point V is the incenter. These are the things they want us to find. UV, SBT, and SAV. Now, I'm going to show you how I go ahead and do these. Outside of the angles, I write what the whole angle will equal. So, for example, TCU, which is this entire angle, is 32. So I would write it out there. That means that this entire angle is 32. Well, things we know about incenter is this line right here, which it doesn't look like it, but it does, bisects this entire angle. So I know that's going to be 16, and that's going to be 16. Alright, the other things it tells us is SBV, which is this, is 54. Well, if this is 54, that's an angle bisector. So that's 54, which means this entire angle is 108. The other things they tell us is TV's for. Remember, from the in-center to the side are all equal. Alright, so I know that's going to be 4. Now the last angle, we have a 32 or 108. We know what this entire angle is by adding them up, subtracting from 180 to tell us that this is going to be 40, which means that this is 20 and 20. Okay, let's see if we got our answers. SBT, that entire angle, we know what it is? It's 108. SAV, we know what that is. It's 20. The biggest thing, so there's our answers. The biggest thing you guys got to know is these lines are angle bisectors. Those two angles have to be the same. These two angles are the same. These two angles are the same. And I write what the whole angle equals on the outside out here. But other than that, I mean, this information they tell us, BV, that's irrelevant information. I mean, unless they asked for that, and you could use the Pythagorean theorem. So unless they ask for this, because these are not equal with in-center. Circumcenter, these are equal. But in-center, no. So that's the amount of information right there. Let's do one more here. Okay, or not. Okay, one more. If I have a triangle, we're just going to make it look like the last one. Okay, close enough. There's the in-center. So from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to here are all the same. So we know that those are all equal. This is Y, E, Z, F, G, X, and D. Alright, they tell us that FG equals 18, YG equals 27, the measure of angle DXF equals 36, and the measure of angle EYG equals 58. So they tell us that information. Okay? The information they want us to find is as follows. Angle EYD, angle EZG, and DG. So, they want us to find that information right there. We can do it very easily by looking at this. YG is 27. Why they give us that? I don't know. FG is 18. Well, if that's 18, that's 18, and that's 18. So DG is going to be 18. DXF, which is this entire angle, is 36 degrees. Remember, I put the entire angle out here, which means that that's going to be 18. That's 18. That doesn't help us get any of the answers until later. EYG, which is half of that angle right here, is 58, which means that's going to be 58, which means the entire angle is 116, which is this one right here. Alright, now we got to get this last angle because the last thing they want is EZG, which is that angle right there. We can find that by going 36 plus 116, which is 152, which tells us that we know this entire angle is going to be 28, which means each one of these has to be 14. So we know that's going to be 14 degrees. So that's the second center of a triangle. It's pronounced in-center. Make sure you get all this written down. Good luck on your homework.